Okay, in this lecture, I'm going to talk about how you can use something called lifecycle or app lifecycle. And it's a way that when your app goes into the background or it's being hidden by something, that you can be aware of these kinds of things and do actions based on them. So one example where something like this might be important is, for example, the camera. So I'm not going to show the camera app right now, but I'll show that in a subsequent video lecture. But when the camera app gets used of the camera, but then the app goes into the background, well, the app in the background really shouldn't be really using the camera anymore. So it should basically let go the use of the camera. So in this app, what we're doing here is we're setting up an app that will kind of pay attention to the state of the application. And what we're doing here is we're putting together a listener right here, this app cycle listener. And this listener gets hooked into the top level stateful widget within the app. So if you look at the stateful structure in the widget tree when the app runs, this is the name of the top level widget. And then you can see here that this lifecycle app cycle listener example here is just the name of this widget here. And you can say that this is a stateless widget, but underneath of it, you can see that there is a app lifecycle display, which is a stateful widget. And this this widget here gets used as the first direct child under this top level widget here. And so you really want to be able to put that listener here, this app cycle listener, at the most top level widget if you're trying to pay attention to things at the overall whole app life cycle. And when the app goes, let's say, in behind or it gets obscured because another app came up to the top, it will tell you the different transactions or different states that the app has gone through. And it's really much more evident when you see this app running in a web browser. So I will run this for you, and then you will see that depending on how you run it. So here I have it running in an iPhone simulator, I have it running in an Android simulator, and I also have it here running within a website or web browser. So one thing you can, so I'm going to show you that depending on whether another screen gets on top or another tab gets on top, that the app lifecycle will detect these changes and then let your application know that something has changed.
Please subscribe to this channel and like this video to support this kind of work.
So here I have the app running in the Chrome mode. So you could come down to the bottom here, pick a different target of where you want to run the app. And I picked Chrome, and I will show you the difference a little bit later after I do the Chrome, how it runs on the iPhone simulator or the Android simulator. So I first picked Chrome, then I went up here, said run without debugging because I really don't want to step through it in the debugger right now. So here, the app has come up and it was put on the top, but let me just restart it and then you will see it shouldn't take too long to rerun it. So the first time the app comes up in the web browser, the first state that will happen is the resume, and the resume actually has two different parts. There's one of this resumed, and there's another one of this resume here. So when the web browser first comes up the first time, this first resume gets used, and then you can see here that it became inactive and then became resumed again. And this is kind of happening as it's changing. The stack of different states are being added here. So if Let's say that I put something on top of the screen, or I were to open up, let's put something else on top of the screen. I'm going to click on the simulator, which will kind of hide or obscure this browser just slightly there. And so what we saw is that it became inactive and it put it back, it put it here on the bottom. Okay. But let me do something else. I'm going to completely obscure the browser. So I'm going to hide it like this. Still says inactive. Now it's completely obscured. And if I take a look at the state here, you can see here on the console, the debug console, not only was it inactive, but now it's in a transition of hide. So you can't really see it. But if you show just a portion of that screen, you can see that it actually went back into resume, and it showed the show here. Okay, so it went to show, and then it went back to resume. So these states happen really quickly, and now um, it's in the resume state because it is visible and in the front. Now, if I were to open up a separate tab on to the side, you will see that it became inactive and then it went into the hidden state. Now I go back and show it. You can see that it now did show and resume. And then if you were to close this tab entirely, then you will see it go to the exit app state. If I exit right now, it will basically shut down the whole website as well. So I'm going to just, if I do that, it will just close it entirely. And then you can see that it actually did detect that the app did finish, okay? Or the web session did finish. So there's a lot of things that you can do here um, based on the changes of the state of the app cycle. Now, if I do it with a mobile phone, so if I do it with the iPhone 16 and I run it, it shouldn't take too long because I just ran it before. So it's here, but I will launch it but I won't put the debugger, but it will be running in debug mode. There we go. Launching. There. This similar kind of life cycle state was started was that the first thing when the app was started, it got put into the resume state. Now, if I were to go to the home screen, this app would not be visible anymore. Let's see what happens. So it goes into an inactive state, then it gets hidden, and the app goes into a pause state. So with iOS, and it puts not only the inactive hide, but it actually puts the app into a pause state. Now, if I click on this app again to bring it up to the front, you can see that it was the restart, and then it was now in a show, and then now resume. Okay, so a lot of different things that's going on, and the state of the app within Android is very similar to iOS. So these are all the different kind of things that you can pay attention to the app depending on the app is put into the background or it's hidden. And it's also things like when you scroll up on the top for, let's say, the notifications, the app is a little bit hidden or obscured, so it will go into a hidden state. I will put this source code on the GitHub, and you can look through the sample as well. And later I will produce another sample that uses this a little bit more intensely, which is a camera app that will, where this kind of transition of the app cycle is very important.